Hello. And 2021 is a special year because it's actually the year of the RedOx. So I thought we needed to do something special if I can get this. And Leo wants to grr and talk to you about free radicals. And so my background, as you know, is biochemistry. And so this is a passion. And yeah, it's time we do this. So a free radical is an atom that's lost an electron. So Leo came along, took an electron, right? And the problem is it's missing an electron and it's miserable. It's like the Hulk. And so it's going to grab an electron from a healthy atom or a healthy cell. But we have friends out there and they're called antioxidants. And the antioxidants have extra electrons. And so they're anti-oxidation. They're anti-losing. So here we go. What are some of the things that can cause oxidation? Well, ionizing radiation, smoking, UV light, inflammation, UV light, the sun, and our mitochondria. And these bad boys that are in the yellow arrows, those are what are called reactive oxygen species. So they're oxygens at the wrong oxidation state. So like the hydroxyl radical, it's not hydroxide, it's an OH without the negative. So there's only 7 electrons. It's like, what's up with that? It needs 8. Everybody's looking for the 8. Or O2, if it gains 1 electron, now it has an extra. Instead of having 12, it has 13. Odd numbers just don't work so well. And then there's our friend hydrogen peroxide. What's missing from this slide, and what is my passion and why I'm making this, is the biggest cause of free radicals. One of the biggest causes, I should say, is our standard American diet, how it has become. It is not how we used to eat. All right. So radical oxygen species or reactive oxygen species, that, my dear groovy students, that is a groovy mitochondria. That's what you want your mitochondria. You want your cells to be sparkly. And radical oxygen species are created in our mitochondria. They are caused endogenously in our mitochondria, which just means it's happening naturally inside of us. We have mechanisms naturally inside of us to deal with it, but from every breath we take because of oxygen. So this is one of the things behind people meditating. You do breathe slower, and breathing slower means you're going to expose yourself to less of this. We'll get to that a little bit. And then it's just naturally, or so we're told, it's a natural part of aging. And so that's just what's going to happen to us. Or does it have to, is really the question. And our attitude. So our attitude, is that coming from inside or outside? I don't know if that should be an exogenous or an endogenous, but we can create it as exogenous to other people, but that creates free radicals. So besides our attitude, viruses can cause free radicals, sunlight, right? That's fear of the sun. Heavy metals, or that is benzene in the upper right-hand corner, that is the classic carcinogen because it creates, can do this. So different chemicals create free radicals, and of course smoking. So in 1964 is when the warning label went on cigarettes, and smoking is much less. It's like more than half less, might be at 25% what it was 50 some years ago. X-rays cause it, and we've heard of all this, but the biggest cause of free radicals in our modern society is our crap diet. So highly fried food and sugar. And so in case you don't know, Kraft Foods and all the big processing places are actually owned now by the cigarette manufacturers. Because big tobacco saw what happened to them back in '64, and they're making sure those warning labels do not ever show up on your hamburger in front of McDonald's. Instead, what do we have? We have longer lines for all of this crap. And what happens? Well, that's a cancer cell, in case you never saw it. That's not normal. It's a cell who has been misguided. You get heart damage, you age super fast. That lady's probably younger than me in the picture. Your liver, and this has actually been a huge problem. And so cirrhosis of the liver, we think of people with alcohol, and it's become a problem. People drinking too much alcohol with coronavirus. It's also caused by drinking soda. Was a pandemic already started before coronavirus, and it was liver disease and other stuff in children. So that's what this lab is about, to educate you so none of this stuff happens to you. Inflammation and colds, your immune system. And so we obsess about the DNA damage, but that is our cell membranes. It's the walls around every cell, and you start getting holes in the walls. So think of the room you're sitting in right now. If you start having holes, well, you can plug a few up, but the holes start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so these are free radicals destroying your cell membranes, and eventually the cell can't do what it needs to do because it has no wall around it. And so, yes, it does. Free radicals can lead to mutations. You can pick your mutation. Some mutations, of course, are pretty good. Pretty sure Wolverine never drank his own energy drink, because energy drinks, it's going to cause free radical damage. Now, what you never see causing free radical damage are the cruciferous. So your broccoli, right? They tell you eat broccoli, eat kale, eat chard. Yeah. And why? So those purples and greens are just loaded with antioxidants. And so this is a picture because we're in chemistry, and those zigzags are carbons and hydrogens, but the molecule all the way on the left, the glucophanin, is modified by an enzyme. And when you chew your food, the broccoli or whatever, it releases this other molecule, and the sulforaphane is a super antioxidant. Can't get in pill form like you can in real foods. They downregulate a whole bunch of genes in cancer and support tumor suppressor genes. And again, when you chew or you chop your food is really important. Why you need to chew your food. In fact, it's pretty hard to swallow broccoli whole. So this is my joke. They're the guardians of the genome. Yeah. And so you're going to have a choice. So we're going to look at this. And seeing children choosing always broccoli, something healthy. Now, another side effect of doing this part of the lab is most Americans are in chronic systemic acidosis. And it is from those foods shown in the middle, which, and I'm not making this is no judging or anything. This is that you have a choice. This is about educating you and realizing, wait, we've all been brainwashed to believe we need those foods in the center, and you don't. You don't need it. And it's this cycle that just keeps going, that the acidosis robs calcium from your bones, right? We think that milk is going to build strong bones. It's actually not quite what's happening there. And then you keep eating and drinking it, or animal products. Look at all the animal products, the soft drinks and stuff. Our alkalinizing food, you're not going to alkalinize your blood from drinking alkaline water. It doesn't work that way. It has to be part of your diet. And if you look at the picture, our immune system is so important. Why are we not talking about this? Because there are issues going on around this beautiful planet. And so I want all of you to have healthy immune systems, healthy red blood cells. I don't want you to have fungus growing in your blood or cancer. So you have a choice. All right, let's keep going. So radical oxygen species, right? Or antioxidants. Dis-ease. So in case you never knew, that's where the word comes from. It's you're in a state where you're not at ease, and in a state of acidosis, versus a health state, which is alkalosis. So sugar creates free radicals, and we get oxidative stress. So when you cut an apple, you cut a potato, there are enzymes that cause this oxidative stress because they're trying to get rid of it all. And we actually have a name for this now. We call it advanced glycation end product, and it is the combination of sugar and animal protein creates these. And the receptor is called RAGE, the receptor for advanced glycation end product. And in the middle, Oxidative stress, ROS, those radical oxygen species. So my goal for this lab is, let's see what we can do in a week. That's all I'm asking for is a week. That's a picture of the SAD diet. It's actually gotten worse. This is from 10 years ago. It's now down to like 4% fruits and vegetables. Coronavirus has done a really good job at convincing us that crap food is going to make us happy. And all it does is make us sadder. Standard American diet also is going to leave you in chronic metabolic acidosis. And anywhere you look, and you know that you got to stop the junk. So that was Chubby Joey from 10 years ago. And yeah, the thing that's crazy, you want to believe your federal government or any of those are helping you. They have standards. The crazy part is in their standards, they say that 25% crap is okay in your diet. It's okay to eat 25% of your diet crap. The crazy part is 95% of Americans before coronavirus exceeded 25% junk food. I don't want to know what it is now. It's probably still the same 95%, but they're exceeding it by more. So these are what are called discretionary calories, and 25% of your diet of this is okay. Well, for the next week, we're going to see what we can do in a week. And so the purpose of this is to inspire you. I guess if you're still listening, you want to be inspired. These are some pictures. I have actually the original magazine in my office. A guy's been going around the globe and he takes a family out, buys them all the food they would eat in a week, and he takes a picture. So that is the standard American family. And there are some grapes on the table back there. But when they looked at children, young children, ages 2 to 8, that met the guideline, again, with 25% crap, only 1 in 1,000 could meet the guideline. Kids are given their food. We're feeding them crap. So let's stop it. That's somewhere in Europe. They're really into the bread and processed food. So only 1 in 1,000 kids had less than 12 spoons of sugar a day. This picture is really sad to me because this is somewhere south of the border. And this picture has changed dramatically in the past 10 years. So on one of the next slides, I have a more traditional picture. There are some vegetables and whole food on there, but all right. So refined carbs, animal protein, it's not a good thing. So we're going to try and keep it real. Another hottest topic that's out there is about your microbiome. So your gut bacteria. So we have bacteria. Over half of the cells in our body are bacteria. They are on your skin and they are there to protect you. They are in your digestive tract. And our standard American diet has actually messed them up. And that is why people can't lose weight. This is saccharin and ACE are artificial sweeteners. Oh, they are actually even worse. They actually change your microbiota, and the animals and the humans who drink artificially sweetened beverages and artificially sweetened food actually end up gaining weight. And this is why you want to do well in school, so you don't have to be the brown line there that says that they analyze the feces. Yes, that's how they check the microbiome. You analyze the feces, they run a DNA test, and they find that they're in chronic inflammation of the gut. Changes the neurochemistry, so your mood is regulated by your gut, and increase in lipids, in fat, by taking these artificial sweeteners because you change your microbiome. So here, who do you think has the healthiest microbiome? So the top left, there's Australia, the top right is Mexico, the bottom right is Egypt, and the bottom left is Ecuador. So the poorest countries, they don't have access to crap food. When I was in Nepal, I remember this, you could buy an orange for basically 5 rupees, like a penny. And to go and buy a Snickers bar, it was like $5. Go figure. And yeah, the orange was heavenly. All right. So, right, the best part is it's low in carbs. This is why carbs get a bad name. And this is what we're going to try and stop doing for 7 days. That's all I'm asking. You can choose water. They actually put things in the store. You guys know this from your psych class. You guys are smart. so that it's at eye level. So you want to drink it and it's rearranged. Yeah. Well, how much sugar is in your drink? So Mountain Dew wins it. But the one all the way on the right, we think, okay, I'm going to get a juice. I'm going to get an iced tea. Actually often has more sugar. The yellow box at the bottom is the one that was always scariest to me because it talks about how much soda children are consuming. So 65 gallons per year, that's a gallon a week that each kid is consuming. That's insane. And it's gotten worse because we have an addiction to Starbucks. I have a friend who says, well, I don't eat until 4 o'clock. I just have a coffee. And his coffee is a salted caramel mocha. So of course he doesn't. And it's not that size. It's actually a larger size. And yeah, or the pumpkin spice. It's that time of year. Probably, I'm trying to figure out what in there would be the healthiest part. Probably nothing. This is interesting. So Save the Children International was huge into pushing for taxes on soda because that does actually work. And then they received a $5 million grant from Pepsi, and Coca-Cola wanted to match it and gave them another grant. And so they stopped pushing for it. This is over a decade ago. That's why there's still no tax on soda. In fact, soda is probably subsidized at this point. American Academy of Pediatrics 2.5 years ago and the American Heart Association started really pushing for this because there was already a pandemic going on, which is called diabetes in children. It was exponential, and we've just made their diet even worse in the past 2 years. The World Bank, before the pandemic happened, I don't know what's going on now, was pushing for this because they see we go bankrupt if we keep eating and drinking crap. So you guys can be the change. Sugar destroys your brain. So when you're wondering, what should you do before an exam? Don't drink a Red Bull. Don't drink a soda. 2 commercial baked goods per week doubles your depression. That includes bagels. Eat an apple. You don't even have to buy apples. Just go down the street and walk and find a tree and pick an apple off of it. They're all over right now. Sugar and depression, there's a huge link. And most people eat 2 commercial baked goods a day. So imagine what that does and why. Oh, back to the whole purpose of this, free radical damage. So there's no antioxidants. These guys are the oxidation, the sugar in there. And again, the unsweetened, the artificially sweetened, they're actually worse. And you also get an overstimulation of dopamine, the reward center, just like cocaine. If you've never seen those pictures, sugar lights up your brain just like cocaine. And this picture on the bottom left is the one that really scared me. And it's because you don't have these nutrient-dense foods that have all the antioxidants. Supplements don't have the same effect because it's all in the vibes. My gosh, we're still a couple weeks away from quantum mechanics when we can finally talk about the real thing that's going on. But sugar shrinks your brain. So now in this day and age, we have the ability to see brain scans and most people's brains. The thing that is amazing, we are vibrant creators and we can actually change and make our brain healthy and beautiful again. So we're going to cut out the crap. This is just all the things: diabetes, heart disease, cancer, can't say that enough, cholesterol, all the things that have to do with the ultra refined. And it's no longer called refined or processed, it's ultra processed. They've processed it even more than it was 10 years ago. And desire for only the sweet things in life, a decrease in IQ. Women have pity problems, pity parties, right? And men become more violent, go figure. You don't ever see that warning label on berries. And unfortunately, berry season's over, but apples are in. And so they're just packed with antioxidants because those antioxidants keep the bugs away. So which is the best? Oh, and these are these wonderful chemistry pictures. Should we have strawberries? Should we have blueberries? Blueberry smoothie, blackberry? It doesn't matter. They're all amazing. Whichever one you like the best. And so then I got to thinking, because some of you are like, you know what, don't give me the crap about my diet. I really like my diet. You do have a choice because, as I already mentioned, most people deal with stress. And we have these, hormones in our body that deal with stress. And so historically, right, our stress was there was a tiger and we either ran or we had to fight it. And so adrenaline gave all of our energy to our muscles. Everything in our body went to our muscles to deal with this. And then there's also cortisol. So whenever epinephrine's released, cortisol's released. The issue is today, our stresses are not the tiger. Cortisol is released. Cortisol is hydrophobic. We haven't learned about that word yet, but it takes time. It takes about 2 hours. It travels to your liver and actually binds to DNA and tells your liver to start breaking down your proteins to make more glucose for your muscles. Makes sense, right? But the problem is it's 2 hours later. What caused you the stress 2 hours ago? You don't have any idea what you were doing 2 hours ago. And so you're not stressed. You're probably laughing and giggling 2 minutes later. But unfortunately, cortisol is already on the boat, heading to your liver. It doesn't go backwards. And so now you have all this extra glucose. You don't need it. And so your body stores it as fat. Yes, that's hydrophobic. It doesn't like water. So you're in this state of perpetual stress. You can figure out which gingerbread man is you. So you send your body into making more fat. It could be you get upset at the computer, your thyroid decreases. It could be you're running around the clock because we're all so busy, busy, busy. Everybody's telling me I'm so busy. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. How do we have so many more electronic time-saving devices and yet we're busier than ever? Think about that. Cortisol suppresses your immune system because it thinks you're in fight or flight. And so if you're always going around the clock, if your sleep cycles are off, and it shifts these pathways, because I do this for my Chem 106 and so in my 105, and we've talked about these. So we're not there yet. But the basic idea is how can we shift it to have less cortisol? Sunshine. A little hard to do this time of year, but sunshine. That's why we're always happier on a sunnier day. Exercise, always in moderation, and sleep. Sleeping with a smile, sleeping with your pets. Yeah, having a fur baby is awesome. And our diet, and meditation, and laughter. I had the opportunity to sit and listen to the Dalai Lama. I used to tutor some Tibetan monks. They show up in another slide. They were always laughing, always smiling, greatest sense of humor. This is why I included this. We are the only species. Humans are extremely special, and not because of this, but because we're human, we actually can mentally turn on the stress response. And you all know this. My meditation teachers have all told this story. We are all movie directors. We're the only ones that ever go to that movie. We all create a whole scenario that never actually happens, but we create the scenario, we create stress. And unfortunately, in that creation, we release the epinephrine and the cortisol, and we create this perpetual state of stress. So animals, they get stressed and then they let it go, they move on. They don't hold on to it. So your thoughts, rather than creating horror movies all the time, why not create comedies? That's what my mind looks like. Create a flower garden in there. So a lot of this is from a book. I can't recommend this guy enough, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks about, are you in survival mode or are you in creation mode? You have that choice. So you can choose joy, right? So we can be in this place where we're always in survival. This is actually a better picture. So fight or flight, our muscles tighten. We're just fear, lack of, fear, this perpetual state of fear they're putting us in. Or we can be in creation where we're releasing love hormones. And so that's Olivia, when I taught the kids class in lab, saying, choose love. I am going to choose love. Children naturally choose love. So this is really funny. They give like 5 cents per bucket, and the buckets are like what, $20 or 50 cents per bucket. Sorry, they're $20 buckets. They get 50 cents for each bucket. And what is the cause of breast cancer? That bucket. Eating the bucket is probably healthier than eating what's inside the bucket. So for 7 days, you're going to give up, and you each know what you need to give up. So if you're going for fast food for 7 days, no fast food. Chick-fil-A, by the way, is fast food. You're not doing it. No fast food. You're not giving up KFC for Taco Bell. So you either give up fast food, you just pick one thing. You can give up your carbonated drinks. You can give up refined sugars. This is a huge one because it is the week of Halloween. Can you do it? Can you give up all the artificial food? Can you give up your burger joint? Rocky's saying, just go for the avocado. So no sugar for 7 days, no fast food. You could give up animal products. Or if you're like, no, I like my diet, I like my crap, you can give up social media for 7 days. Did I say that? I don't even have any social media. I don't even know what some of those words are you guys use. I don't even know what those icons mean. I know 2 of them. The 2 of them, I have no idea. So you have a choice. So for 7 days, you're going to give up one unhealthy habit. I have done this with my other class for 3 years now and 4 years. And before coronavirus, I would do this talk the first day of our class. And the problem was no one from our class ever did it. And my other class, they blew me away the first term. Every person did it. And they did it for 30 days. That's coming up. And it's been amazing, the stories I've heard. So you have a choice. So, right, what are you going to give up? The highly processed, the sugary desserts, the Halloween candy? There's a second part to the 7 days. You're going to start a healthy. So I have a student in my other class, and she gave up, it was something she was buying at the store, some kind of drink. And so it was like a $2 to $4 drink every day. I don't know how some of you guys afford. People are like, how can you afford fruits and vegetables? I don't go to Dutch Bros and buy a $6 drink every day. But she was going to the supermarket. She was from another country. And she said, so instead of buying that drink, I walked to the other part of the store and I bought fruit. And so she said for 7 days, and now she's in for the 30-day challenge, which is extra credit. The 7 days is not optional, but you guys are going to give up something unhealthy and add something healthy. So it could be eating 3 fruits per day, not necessarily 3 different fruits. It can be 3 apples a day. Now, it does depend on the size of the apple. And I do get it that if it's a cosmic, whatever that thing is, Tara, you love so much, a cosmic boy is probably like 2 apples, because yeah, there's some apples. So it might not be 3 pieces. For some of us, our smaller people, might only be 2 pieces of fruit per day, depending on the size of the fruit. So Bill and Melinda, back in 2010, when they were a happy couple, they funded the largest global, largest meta-analysis of death and disease risk factors. And there's been many done since then. They all show the same thing. The leading cause of disease in this country, this is before coronavirus, was diet. It's displaced smoking. And it's because we eat like we dress. We dress in beige, brown colors. Or as some of you have commented, that I'm always have a lot of colors on. That's how I eat. I eat colorfully. So the worst aspect of our diet was actually not the sugar and the beige. It was the fact that we didn't eat enough of the things with the antioxidants. So we're getting rid of the oxidative stress for 7 days, and we're going to add some antioxidants. You can find places that have the fruit. So 3/4 of Americans do not even eat 1 piece of fruit. 75% of you don't even eat 1 piece of fruit a day. And I'm asking you to eat 2 or 3, depending on your size and the size of the fruit. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Imagine what 2 apples a day would be. So for 1 week, you're going to change. So you can make pasta, and instead of putting crap on it, you buy a bag of frozen veggies. It's like $1, and you just steam it and put it on top of there. Or you can find good tomato sauce that you can put on there. So it's altering how you prepare the food also. So you don't need to deep fry it. So fruit sugar is bound to fiber, and so it's absorbed slow and it feeds your microbiome, and it's just loaded with antioxidants. So that's one choice. There's several choices given. You can eat your greens. So there's this book, and it is in 1777. George Washington actually told his troops they needed to forage for wild greens. There's actually several doctors who recommend this. You'd have to know what you're doing. I forage in my own garden where I know what the greens are. 1 in 25 Americans eat 12 servings of greens in a month. Not even, like, what's that, 3 a week? Not even every other day. And yeah, they find that every serving of greens decreases your risk of heart disease by 20%. And it has to do with this, that greens are filled with chlorophyll, and chlorophyll has ubiquinone, and ubiquinone has these extra electrons that fill in. Chlorophyll has the extra electrons. Your mitochondria has ubiquinone, which is a natural antioxidant to deal with the radical oxygen species. And so CoQ10, it's naturally in us, and it negates them, except it has to be charged back up. And what charges them back up is chlorophyll. And if you've never seen that picture before, your blood has the exact same molecule as chlorophyll has, except our blood has iron in the center, which is a huge oxidizing agent. And plants have magnesium in the center, which then gives us the green color, the chlorophyll. So eating a salad every day. You can ask Tara. Tara's done this with me before. Just for 7 days. All right. The crazy part was the average intake on a salad intake is like 1/10 of a serving per day. And I can't, Joey's been trying to figure out what's 1/10 of a serving. Like, you eat 1 bite and that was it. It's going to make your brain 11 years younger. So wait, you guys, your brain would be just like beautiful, because most of your brains, if you've been eating all that sugar, it's not the age you think it is. But if you're like, no, my diet's great, I don't want to eat the rainbow, I don't want to eat a salad, I'm happy with the crap, then you're going to breathe slowly for 12 minutes a day for a week and not watch your social media. That phone is not going to be where you are. You're going to enter a stress-free zone, and you're going to breathe slowly. And it's not that you have to focus on your breath. You don't think about nothing. If you have a thought, just allow it to happen, and then place your hand on your heart and just send love, because everybody needs love. There's my Tibetan monks. I told you I had a picture of them. And just be present and send love to yourself. So I told you, some of you said you've never seen the Blue Ox. There's the Blue Ox. That was me when I biked the Oregon coast. I did it the smart way. Joey was in the car, so knows I don't have a tent and all the bags on there. So there is a bonus feature to the lab. The Blue Ox bonus is to have somebody join you, not from the class, somebody in your family join you, as you're not eating fast food for the week and you're going to eat apples. So that's one bonus. And then, of course, Red wants in on the action. And so the RedOx bonus is that you continue your healthy changes for 33 days. That would take us not only through Halloween, it would take us through Thanksgiving. So are you up for the challenge? So I saw this quote when I was trying to figure out what those icons meant on that one picture, and it said, do things that make you forget to check your phone. Choose love. And yeah, choose love. Always choose love. Choose to just sit. You can do multiple things. All you have is to gain. And I have to figure out how to stop recording. So bye-bye. Choose love.